Welcome back to the SCIF. I am Matt. That is Stu. We are the Green Beret Life. We are a 501c3. We offer training, pistol, rifle, shotgun, and other things to basically, with everything going, to get veterans, families, first responders, families out into the outdoors. Might be firearms training. It might be expeditions. It might be anything. So if you're interested, check our website out, TheGreenBeretLife.com. If you are interested in a class, please look us up. You can get a hold of us on our email, which is TheGreenBeretLife@gmail.com. If you want to just ask a question, go ahead and if you're thinking about joining the military, go ahead and shoot us a question. Sometimes it takes us a little while to get back, but we'll get back to you. Obviously, we both care about the military and we want good people getting into the military. We are very, very upset about what has been happening to the military over the last 3 years, 3.5 years anyways. So that being said, we got a good show tonight. A lot of stuff has happened. A possible black swan event. We'll get into that a little bit. But we have some 2A stuff that we want to talk about, and we also have some of these big events that happened with Donald Trump and the ship, destroying the bridge in Baltimore Harbor, and the terror attack in Russia, and what else we got, Stu?
Pretty much the world's on fire right now, and it's a hot mess all the way around. Like you said, we're going to talk about the Trump bond, or the Trump's bond being reduced from just about $500 million freaking dollars for a crime that never occurred. We've got, and I'm sure you guys have seen and heard about the ATF raid in Little Rock. The individual, I think he was some sort of executive or director at the Little Rock Airport. There was an ATF raid.
The Bill and Hillary Clinton Airport.
There was sadly he wound up passing from the injuries during the no-knock warrant at 6 a.m. But we've got the warrant that the ATF used. We're going to review that, go through some of the details on that. I believe Matt he's got some information on the Vista Outdoor with the ammo, and like he said, the Moscow. There's a lot of finger pointing of who did what to whom, and this ISIS is claiming responsibility, but if I recall correctly, they also claimed responsibility for the Las Vegas shooting, and it just seems like they're trying to stay in the limelight every chance they get to claim responsibility for something.
Well, the dubious part about that is you have to think, why now in Russia? We warned them a week in advance, but we warned Americans stay away from concerts in Russia. Yeah. And then you have Victoria Nuland giving a speech trying to push this $60 billion to Ukraine, saying we have some nasty surprises for Russia. There's a lot of questions about this. Everybody jumping up and down saying, "Oh, it's definitely ISIS," when nobody has any information except the Russians caught the individuals who I believe are from Tajikistan. So first of all,
I think they said at least one of them was from Tajikistan, was the story I saw. But it's. Everybody's making up things. Nobody knows anything. Everyone's, trying to be the first to the party, and they throw enough shit at the wall. Then whenever it comes down, be like, "See, we told you." It's like, yeah, but you also said 7 other things that weren't part of it. But
they might, and they're so adamant that it was ISIS-K, and just when these big brains, when they say ISIS-K, they're basically talking about ISIS in Afghanistan. It's a regional thing, and they want to sound like extremely smart.
Well, the first thing I heard whenever ISIS came out, they were like, "Oh, I thought Trump said he dismantled ISIS. Apparently he did." Making it now Trump's fault. And it's like, well, okay, whatever he did 4 years ago, If nothing's been maintained and they've been allowed to do whatever for the past 4 years, that's not really on him. You need to look at the guy that's, supposedly at the rudder of the ship at the moment.
Well, but here's when you have the media all out trying to jam this down your throat, that should make you dubious right there. And then you have to think why. Russia, who's pretty much on board with trying to stop what the Israelis are doing, the dismantling of Hamas, and all, why would they attack Russia? None of that makes any sense whatsoever. So whatever you're seeing, the talking heads on all the cable news channels and everything, throw it out. And, sometimes the most obvious place is the answer. Okay. That's Occam's razor. So, I don't trust anything the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians have killed an American and nobody's even talking about it. He was arrested because he wasn't pushing the narrative. And his name was Lira Gonzalez.
He died in like one of their jails or something, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And he was basically pointing out everything that was going on in Ukraine, and the Ukrainian government didn't like it. Our administration didn't like it. He was making a run for the Polish border, and he was arrested, and now he's dead.
Yeah.
So I don't trust the leadership in Ukraine. I don't trust this administration. I don't trust the big conglomerate throughout the European Union. I don't trust any of it. I don't trust any of the media. I don't trust. Do I have the answers? No, I don't have the answers. Stu doesn't have the answers. Nobody really has the answers. But when they come out immediately and they're so adamant about this, I would throw up a little bit of, what are they trying to sell this so hard for?
Yeah. Whenever they can come, right out of the gate within moments of something happening and saying it's definitely this or it's definitely not that, it kind of makes you wonder. It's like, well, okay, what did you know and how long have you known it to be able to definitively say A or B? It's like there has to be some window of fact finding and information gathering before a declaration can be made. But, bodies haven't even assumed room temperature yet. And you're telling us definitively, X or Y. I just don't think so. I mean, it might be what you want. It might be the spin that you want to put on it. But I just don't see that being anywhere near the case with
and then lo and
being
behold,
accurate.
As General Flynn pointed out, as soon as the Russians say Putin says Americans may have had something to do with this, wham, we have the bridge go down in Baltimore Harbor, shutting down one of the, if not the largest port on the East Coast.
One of the things I read about that too is that's also the route that all hazardous cargo takes through that area, because everything else is tunnels and they don't allow them, hazardous cargo and stuff through those tunnels. So they're either going to have to re-permit things, they're going to have to do something, or all of that traffic is going to have to be diverted and rerouted. Yeah. There's a bunch of weird stuff going on, and you heard me mention Black Swan event. For those of you who don't know what a Black Swan event, it's something that's unexpected that pretty much has profound effect on the world, the environment, the country, right? Yeah. And a bunch of things are happening that, I think Jack Posobiec pointed out that, parts are falling off of planes. Trains are derailing left and right with hazardous materials. Ships are taking out bridges. Think it's all an accident. Still think it's all an act. That's what he put in there. I mean, it's to the point. And we just have to start thinking about these things. We're not here pushing anything. We are just saying, do not take it hook, line, and sinker when you're being fed, oh, here's these easy answers. Because yet again, a year ago, it seems like planes were crashing into food processing plants, fires at food processing plants, cattle dying,
just weird shit attacking the food industry, right? And now you're starting to see it spread out. And our country's in big, big, big trouble. You have an administration that gets up there and basically lies, that says the economy's in great shape, the border is secure, and nothing could be further from the truth, right? So don't trust any of it. Be dubious, as we always say.
Oh,
Be
you know
dubious.
what? You know what came out? Did it come out today or yesterday? The unemployment rate in California is the highest in the United States.
That's a surprise.
Of course, that's not
but
California.
They manipulate all those numbers. Stu, they manipulate all those numbers. So when they're talking about right now, when Biden is talking about how many jobs he's created, these were jobs that came back from COVID. And they were paying people to stay home on unemployment. And now these jobs are coming back. He's acting because they just redefine everything. These are new jobs, according they're the old jobs where people got laid off during COVID, and now they're starting to come back, and he's trying to take credit saying he created these jobs. And it's just a tremendous we are in big trouble here, folks. Bananas just went up 20%. Did you hear this? For the first time in modern history. Yeah, 20%. And now that one of the major ports are being closed, do you think that's going to have an effect on inflation, getting supplies? Do you think? Holy smokes! I mean, and when you see the pictures of that bridge coming down, I know we're jumping all over the place here. When you see the pictures of that bridge coming down, it's really odd. The whole bridge collapsed. I could see the section going. The whole bridge went down.
Yeah.
So something's
Matt,
not right.
One of the things you're talking about, the unemployment numbers, and one of the things I looked at here, because I was going to see how often the unemployment numbers have been adjusted. Mm-hmm. The first thing I could really find, it was last year. It was September of last year, September 2023. Every month in 2023, the Bureau of Labor Statistics revised the payroll numbers from previous months to lower it. So every month last year, the numbers they came out touting in the news and vomiting from the press secretary were all bullshit, because every month they were revised downwards. They were inaccurate, they were false, they were misleading, but you never hear that. Mm-hmm. All you hear is that initial story, the headline, greatest jobs ever, jobs approved, the market's, doing what it's supposed to do. And then you turn around and it's all garbage.
Yeah, complete garbage. But you don't even have to listen to any of that. Everybody knows what's going on. Go buy gas, go buy groceries, right? We are in trouble. We are $35 trillion in debt for all intents and purposes here. We have this guy Gallagher, Congressman Gallagher, who's a former Marine who basically represents the Green Bay area in Wisconsin, who is stepping down to go work for a company called Palantir that I'm very familiar with, right? Mm-hmm. Going to work for Palantir, and he's quitting after the Wisconsin primary, where they couldn't hold a special election, basically leaving his whole district unrepresented until January, but more importantly, leaving us with a 1-seat advantage in the House. Yeah. And there's some rumors out there that this guy, I think his name's Paul Singer, billionaire, the guy who single-handedly destroyed a town in Nebraska when he bought the majority of the stock in Cabela's, and then the majority of the stock in Bass Pro Shops, even though Cabela's was doing gangbusters, he forced them to merge, and because Bass Pro Shops was bigger, they abandoned the town in Cabela's, where Cabela was founded for almost 100 years, destroyed the whole frickin' town. That's what these leeches do. Well, the rumor, Stu, is that this guy Singer, is very worried about what Trump is going to do with stopping, the whole building your shit in China and bringing it here, and the military-industrial complex and all of that. forcing factories to come back to the United States. They don't want this. They also want the cheap labor, right? So he's paying. The rumor is he's paying these Republicans to leave, and what they want to do is hand it over to Jeffries, Jeffries, right? And and if Trump wins, they're going to pull some 14th Amendment stuff, trying to keep Trump from being able to take office. So they're going to try to put it over to the Democrats. And I think the reason why Mike Johnson went along with this whole thing is he's being threatened. We're going to quit. We're going to quit. That's what I think is happening. It's just a guess, but I've always said, and people told me I was full of shit, that in 2018, Paul Ryan and the Republicans, the Rhino Republicans, orchestrated turning over the leadership in the House to expose Donald Trump to impeachment. I will stand by that. I truly think that that's what happened. I don't have proof that's what happened, but I can't say Darrell Issa was one of the 40-some Republicans who retired that year, and then he came back in 2020. That should tell you everything you need to know right there.
Whenever they're doing that, I mean, I'm sorry, you're elected to serve a term. You're elected to represent your constituents for that period of time, barring, a catastrophic event in your family or with your health. That's your job. That's your responsibility. That's your duty. And you're telling me this job that he was offered is it's not available in, when's their election in 6 months, in a year?
He could quit right now. Wisconsin has their primary on, because I just sent in my absentee ballot. They've got their primary on the 2nd of April. So they could have held a special election during the primary. Okay. But for some reason, he's quitting on April 19th, past the date to where they could have a special election. Tell me, he has not given an explanation.
The governor needs to say, no, pack your shit, put it in a box. You can be going by this day.
The governor there's a big Democrat.
Yeah. So, it's all.
But
Freedom US
couldn't Mike Johnson say, no, you'll leave now? Couldn't he do that? Unless he's being threatened with other people. This guy Buck left. I mean, McCarthy just up and quit. This is insane. This is the Rhino Republicans messing thing. This is why I said they're worse than Democrats. They are worse than freaking Democrats.
Well, we've said before that the Republicans don't want to be in power because then they have to do something. And every time the Republicans have been in power, they've slow rolled and just slow walked anything that they promised they were elect us and we'll do this. They get elected.
If they did it, Stu, they would have to pay, they would have hell to pay because they're donors. And the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the military industrial complex who gives them all of these deals, right? Who they're working for, not you. You thought they were working for you. No. They're working for them. That's why Palantir is heavily invested in the defense industry, plus the municipal industry today. Right. Yep. And that's who they're working for. They're not representing this guy Gallagher isn't representing the people of Green Bay. Don't listen to his hokey ads and all of this bullshit. This guy is a piece of shit as far as I'm concerned. So,
and I forget where it had come out. There was a study that they had basically kind of run all the numbers, and the driving force in a law being passed had absolutely nothing to do with public sentiment, with what you and I wanted. It was all in what the donors and the lobbyists, because they're the ones with the money. You know, what you and I put into, to candidates and to this, that, they'll take your $5, they'll take your $20, but what Boeing, what Lockheed, what the teachers unions, what whomever's putting money in the candidates dwarfs whatever money you or I have. But Freedom US was posting up. He said by 8 a.m. the day of the bridge going down, we're told it's an accident. It's quite a thorough investigation. And he said, FBI Director Ray named this guy Del Bagno as a I think that's pronounced right, as a special agent in charge of the Baltimore field office one day before the bridge collapsed. And apparently this guy was the acting assistant director of the inspection division at FBI headquarters in DC.
That's the jumping off point, because we're still on YouTube. And as we all know, YouTube, by the way, RFK Jr. picks his running mate, who's the ex-wife of Sergey Brin, the co-founder of Google. That's where her money comes from. But anyways, I don't know what's going on there.
One of the things I heard is like he was picking her so she could, dump her money into the campaign. And somebody said, he was looking for a sugar VP. I'm like, that's funny.
Well, she paid, allegedly, I heard she paid $20 million to get those ads during the Super Bowl on. Right?
Oh, really?
And she's also big illegal immigration and all of this, which is just odd to me because anyways, we're going to jump over to Odysee and Rumble. If you haven't already, please go join us over there. YouTube does not allow free speech here. That's the long and short of it. If you're not pushing the narrative and you go against there, and it's going to get worse, folks. That's why all these gun channels, I watch a lot of gun channels on YouTube, and these guys are all demonetized. They're all getting screwed. Go create a Rumble account. Go create a Rumble account. You have to. We've got to start migrating over there. And I'm as guilty as anybody because I still hit YouTube first. And then I'm like, oh shit, I got to go and hit Rumble. We got to create our new platform over there. So that being said, Stu, do you have anything else you want to tell the YouTube audience before we switch over to Rumble and Odysee?
No, just that the link to the show should be in the description below. Please join us over there. Like Matt said, we try and post up on YouTube. It's just that you can never tell what's going to, draw their ire of the week and get you a strike, because the rules change depending on who you are. So we try and just get over here on YouTube, give a little bit of a presentation, kind of a talking points of what we're going to be discussing, and hope people come over to Rumble with us. See, I don't think we have any comments. No, we don't have any comments on YouTube that I see. But come over to Rumble. We'll continue the show over there, and if you choose not to, then we'll see you for the little 15-20 minute blurb on YouTube next week. But please come over to Rumble, join us there.